Today I'll be showing how to test and replace car speakers. Now I'm just going to jump right into this. It just stopped raining and I need the room here. As you can see, a one-car garage. I can't even open up the door, so I need to get the car out. So let's jump right into it and I'll explain what we're dealing with. Now in my case, on the driver's or the left-hand side, I have nothing working here. On the passenger side, it does work. So that tells me it's most likely just the speaker, not the radio, but I want to verify that we do not have a power issue. So to do that, we need to remove the door cover. Now, whenever you remove these, you don't have to get too nervous. What you want to look for are the indentations. So in other words, right behind here, there is a Phillips size fastener. Same with there. Let me turn on a light very quickly. Also, you'll typically find one right behind the handle that opens the door. And then looking at the way that this is constructed, most likely right here. And then we'll pull on the bottom. Typically you'll find clips on the bottom and pull this off. Now chances are I have a fastener underneath this cover right here. It can be a little hard to remove. This is a terrific tool set. I've shown this before in the past. I've had these for years. They just don't break. I think they're $12 off Amazon. I'll include a link in the description box below. But just a really nice tool set. It makes it very, very easy to remove any trim pieces without killing your hands, your fingers. They can be really sharp, a lot of these pieces. Okay, and then I just have a little Munchkins cup. Grab a cup of coffee, some Munchkins, you get to go. I have another one over here, then we could probably just pull off this entire cover. Okay, in the Munchkins cup. So there are just tabs on these, okay? Just find the tab right here where my thumb is. Pull on the body, don't pull from the wires, obviously. Okay, that's it. Now on the opposite end you have these clips. If these snap, your local auto parts store will have them in stock. Amazon, again, another very, very good source to get replacement parts. Now looking at this speaker, it's obvious that the speakers are shot. I mean, look, there's just nothing left. Nothing left. I don't think they're original. They don't look original, but they're just completely worn out. Okay, so let's first disconnect this harness connector. Okay, so really simple to replace these. Now testing if power is getting to the speaker is very, very easy. All that I have is a digital multimeter. Again, this is like $20 off Amazon. Really nice tool to have. So we need, we need volts DC. Okay, make sure it says that's AC. DC, okay, so make sure it says DC. And then all that I have, nothing fancy, just two wires with alligator ends. Okay, little test leads. Inside here you have two prongs, one on the right, one on the left. So I'm just placing these alligator clips on both ends. Okay, just like that. And then multimeter, one to black, one to red. That's all that you're doing. And you should see a reading here once we turn the ignition key, because right now no power, right? The car's off. Okay, so turn the key on. So now what I'm going to do is turn on the radio, and we should see a change in this reading, and then I'll turn off the radio. Okay, so here we go. So as you can see, we have a reading. So that verifies that power is getting to the speaker. Let me turn it off. And there you go. Now if you do this test and you do not see a reading, of course check your fuses. Make sure that the fuses are not blown. Ultimately, if you still do not see a reading, chances are it's just a radio problem and you'll need to replace it. And this is something I did a number of years ago. It's helped out a number of people. I'll include that link in the description box below. Very simple to do. Do not be intimidated. Really, it's a very, very simple process if you do need to replace the radio. Now before I run to the store, I just want to measure these, see what the diameter is, and these are 6.5 inch. Okay, so I need a pair of 6.5 inch speakers. So I just picked these up from Best Buy. They were $70. They also had Alpine for $100. In my case, I really don't plan on using the radio that much, to be honest, since it's a convertible and the sound of an S2000 is just awesome. So I think this will be perfectly fine. So let me set everything out, hook up the wiring, and we'll be almost ready to go. Now setting up the new speakers is very, very simple. There are many different ways you can do this. Make it as simplistic as possible. Now in my case, I'll show you two really easy ways to do this. In my case, I'm going to use the old mount. So this mount was on the old speaker. So I'm going to transfer the old mount to the new speaker, and this will simply bolt right onto my vehicle. Really, really easy. But let's say you don't have a mount like this and the new speakers aren't lining up. What you'll need included in the package, this is the rear of the box, is a template. And you'll see this in a moment. I'll line it up on the car for you. But you place this on the vehicle and you have 4 drill marks. And you just make 4 drill marks. Included in the package are new fasteners, and you're good to go. That's all it takes. So if you're curious what this is the outer circumference of the speaker. So this will just place right into the door and you're good to go. You'll see what I mean in a moment if you're getting a little confused. It's really, really easy. Just plan everything out before you start drilling. Super, super simple. Now regarding the wiring, they do include new wiring. And if you take a look, so the gray wire is for the right or the passenger side. The white wire is for the left or the driver's side. So this simply plugs into the rear of the speaker. Okay, into the rear of the speaker. And then you can solder, you can use connectors, whatever you want to do. I'll probably solder them. You're going. So this goes into the speaker, and then these, the other end, will essentially go into this. So again, the old mount, or the mount from the old speaker, and then just installing it onto the new one. And I'm using the fasteners that come with the new kit. Let me quickly show you how I'm doing this. I showed this a couple years ago when we did the radio installation. So whenever you need to connect 2 wires, again, you can solder, you can use something like this, one of these, but really the best thing is, or the easiest and the best I should say, is posi connectors. They're like less than $7. I'll have links again in the description box below. So we have 1 wire set for the driver's side, 1 for the passenger. So these 2 wires came with the Kenwood speakers. One is a solid color, that's your positive. The line is your negative. Same with this. This has a black stripe, that's your negative. The solid white is your positive. So I need to connect these 2 wires. Now how do I know that? Well, very quickly, what I did when I first hooked up the wire to the speaker, again this came with the speaker, I just turned on the car radio and I touched the wires to make sure that I have sound, and that tells me precisely where positive and negative is on the car. So in my case, I know that these wires need to make a connection. So I'm just twisting these together. Okay, and you take this connector. Yikes.
Oh God.
Okay, this goes in like this. So you're placing the wire, okay, right through the connector, and this just caps it. That's it. This will never come apart. Super, super, super simple. Just make sure and be careful. You don't want to drop anything. Okay. These are just zip tied, so it's nice and clean. You have the window right here, so you want to make sure nothing becomes interfering with one another. And as a quick test, let's make sure both sides are working.
That's the only way to go, particularly during like CES when there's
So the right side, the left side. So we're in great shape. The next upload will be the first test drive of this vehicle after 6 months of work. Look how smooth the engine runs, over 170,000 miles. So that will be the next upload. Until then, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.